الجديدة عندنا آي راديو. أينتكم في جنوب السودان.
هل انت شاب وبتفتش عن برنامج تعليمي؟ زون 72 برنامج خاص لك انت، بيتم فيه مناقشة كتير من المواضيع اللي بخصك، وفيه انت ممكن كمان تعبر عن رأيك وتتواصل مع شباب بنفس تفكيرك. زون 72 بيجيكم في كل يوم السبت من الساعة 4 مساء للساعة 5 مساء على الهواء وعلى الإنترنت، فقط على أي راديو. عينك على جنوب السودان.
Yes, good evening, listen of iRadio, and welcome to the Zone 72 Youth Program, which comes to you every Saturday from 4 to 5 p.m. I'm your host, Barry Johnson, and I also have with me in the studio, as usual, Grace and Vico, who is our sign language interpreter. Zone 72 highlights the rights and choices for all adolescent and youth, and it emphasizes on the three-pillared global strategy for adolescent and youth, putting young people at the center of sustainable development. Zone 72 Youth Program is in collaboration with the South Sudan Ministry of Health, South Sudan Nurses and Midwives Association, Shabab Le Shabab, Canadian Association of Midwives, and UNFPA. Zone 72 is made possible with support from Global Affairs Canada. Well, to comment on today's program, you'll be calling us on our studio line, that is 0911 or 0922 986 986, and for text messages, send to 0913 986 986. You can also stream this broadcast live by logging onto our website, that is www.iradio.org, on our Facebook page, iRadio. You can also stream this program on our YouTube channel, that is iRadio South Sudan. If you have questions about adolescent health, send us an email to youthzone72@gmail.com or call 0922 009497. We also have two hotlines, and they're toll free. If you want to report on GBV, you can call 623, and if you want to report on adolescent health immediate, call 885. Well, today we are going to be looking at a very interesting topic, which is men's mental health awareness. June is recognized as Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, a time dedicated to spotlighting the often overlooked mental health challenges men face. The goal is to break the stigma, encourage open conversations, and promote access to support and resources. And this month emphasizes the importance of checking in with the men in our lives, creating safe spaces, and reminding everyone that seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Well, to shed more light on our topic today, I'm pleased to have with me in the studio Awud Mabior Deng, who is a counseling psychologist at Juba Teaching Hospital, and we're also happy to have with us Juma Daniel, who is the executive director of Action We Foundation. Good evening.
Good evening.
It's good to have both of you on the program, and we look forward to having a very interesting conversation. Just starting our discussion, mental health challenges among men are often underreported, and from your different professional perspective, what do you believe are the most pressing issues facing men today in South Sudan when it comes to mental health? Let me start with Daniel.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I think there are many issues that men are going through. I would love to start this conversation actually by stating why actually men go through some of these things. And sometimes they go through these things knowingly or unknowingly, and this is based on how society has defined how men are supposed to be. Like in the African society, men are not, allowed to open up about their issues. Yeah. And a quick example I'll give is in a funeral, you'll find that women mostly are the one crying.
Yes.
And men don't express those kind of emotions through their cries. Once they express that, the society view them as weak people. Yeah. And that's the starting point of their mental health issues. Because once they start keeping silent and keeping most of these things inside, and then they suffer in silence. And one of the things that actually men suffer most is the issue of being a man. And why do I say this? Because society want men not to be weak. And not only society, even their wives, if they're married. There's a scenario, I came across a man who had issues with his wife. And when he was crying, the woman said, now, if you're crying like this, what will this baby do? You see. So at that point, the man is forced to be inside. And this leads me now to say that if once you start confiding in yourself, you don't open up to other people to help you, definitely suicidal thoughts comes in. And this is one of the things that men are facing today. Is to do with suicides. Suicides right now are very high among young people, among men in South Sudan or in Africa in general, because of these issues, because they don't get a chance, to open up and share their weak emotions so that they can get encouraged. And by that, the end result is always, suicide. And that's how I wanted to start this conversation from.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I would also want to hear from you, but from your work at Juba Teaching Hospital, if you can share what are some of the most common mental health challenges that you have observed among men, and what do you think contributes to them, looking at our context here in South Sudan?
Some of the challenges men go through is silence. They are afraid to share their emotions. They are afraid to open up. They see it as a sign of weakness and shame. And so men have this cultural expectations have put a lot on men. Like for instance, when a child grow up, like a boy child, they will be told, do not cry, be like your father, you are the man of the household now. They might seem like emotional support, they might be motivational, but in the long run they become heavy emotional chains that force them to suppress their emotions, pain, grief and sadness, hence leading to the cycle of trauma. And because of the cultural expectations and taboos and stigma upon mental health, many men suffer in silence. And silence is a deadly killer, because you never know what someone is going through. I've worked with people who have tried to commit suicide so many times because they cannot express maybe their sexuality. They are going through tough relationships and maybe drama at home, in-laws and everything. They go through that, but because they cannot share as men, they have certain standards that they must uphold. Like men should show there should be a pillar of, or they should be unshakable pillars, providers, leaders, and this, with this pressure upon them, it causes a lot of emotional, mental health issues that they cannot open about. And coming to this country of ours, we've seen many men have experienced or witnessed war, depression, poverty, or loss. And because they cannot come to therapy or seek help somewhere else, they are forced to suffer in silence. So those are some of the causes of mental health in South Sudan.
Okay.
Yes.
And coming back to you, Daniel, on the issue of this cultural narrative that real men don't cry, or you as a man, you're not supposed to cry. And even if you're crying, you should cry in a closed place, like no one should see you. So how do you see this belief manifesting and continuing in our society? Even some of us will be telling our children that you are the man of the house, you're not supposed to cry and all that. So how do you think this can be addressed? And how do you see this cultural narrative growing up in our society and continuing from generation to generation?
Yeah, I think for us to be able to break from such kind of circle, conversations like this are very crucial. Because I don't think in this country we really have tangible conversations on men's mental health. And when this was shared, I was really very excited about it, because this is the starting points. Once there are conversations on men's mental health, I think it gives them an awareness of what men are supposed to do when they are faced with challenges. This circle continues to be in our society is because we don't want to see things from a different perspective, in a way that, for example, if I was once like when they say that you have to be like your father, you see, so they are giving us a reference to how our parents used to behave. Back in the day, let's talk on economic hardships that maybe hit men. I just want to use that scenario. Back in the day, economy was based on crops. You can marry many wives as you want, so long as you can till the land, farm, and get something for yourself. But now let's look at this scenario. You are married in Juba, 3 wives and maybe 5 wives, and you have an economy that is based on foreign currency, and expectations are rising daily on everyday basis. So there is no way you can tell me that you want me to behave like somebody who has behaved maybe 20 years ago. It's totally completely different. Times have changed, and for us to be able to break away from this circle, we need to create safer spaces for men. Where do we get these safer spaces? In churches. You see, in churches we can have safer spaces where men can be able to express themselves and they can be helped. Even in tea spaces, you see, men can be able to bring out and share their issues. And another thing is sometimes the society believes that people who come to where my sister works is only people who have who are mad. You get the point? But they don't know that sometimes even you yourself, who is normal like this, might be having issues in the house. You can go and visit these people so that you're given counseling on different things, you see. So to me, I feel like family therapy plays a very big role in changing the narratives, especially for young boys. If you have a moment as a parent and you encourage your own child to start opening up to you, where is this safe space starting from? It starts even from the house, you see. The reason why we have many men who are not married staying in their father's houses and lounging in Juba and even drinking alcohol, misbehaving, is because we have failed as families to create a safer environment for them in the houses so that they can be able to open up. So to me, this begins from the house, so that when me as a parent, when I come home and I give my children attention, I give my other family members attention for them to open up and share what are the challenges they are facing. You see, these people get used to. Next time they know that, yes, I am stuck somewhere, I need to speak to someone. Dad is not there, mom is no longer there, but now I'm stuck. What do? You start asking for help from someone. So we people are trained, is that our cultures are so rigid that we are trained in a way that not opening up is a sign of a strength. But we need to start changing that narrative, that keeping, as my sister said, keeping silence is actually a quick way of killing yourself. You see, is a quick way to kill yourself. And that way, if you have issues, open up. It's not that you open to everyone. You open to someone you feel like they can be of help to you. You know, there are people in the society today, you open your issues to them, tomorrow you find it's everywhere on social media. You see, you don't open to everyone. You open to someone you can be able to, to confide in. So to me, breaking this circle begins from the immediate family, and then later on the society can be able to pick it at large.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I would, I believe there is often this stigma around men expressing weakness. So from your work, how do you approach helping the male clients to open up in therapy session? As Juma said, as Daniel said, it is not easy for someone to openly say that I go to a psychologist. So they usually keep it low-key. They don't want anyone to know about it, especially the family. Even they cannot even tell their own wives that they're doing that, because we believe someone who goes to a psychologist, kalas rasto bigamako is. Yes, so I want to know how do you encourage the male clients to feel safe and open up in the therapy sessions they have with you?
The first thing, because there's a lot of, there's always doubt on someone, trust issues. So the first thing you can do is offering an unjudgmental space for them to open up. You assure them of confidentiality. whatever they share in this space shall not go to anyone else. It's just between you and me. The second thing is empowering them, as empowerment is a key to enforcing strength to men, empowering them about their masculinity and how opening up or sharing their issues, even with a counselor who is a female, is not a sign of weakness. But silence is weakness, but opening up is a sign of strength, not shame at all. And also, apart from encouragement, you give them a chance, a space, let them speak, listen more, and let them talk more. So you get to know what is the challenge, how are you going to tackle this from them, and your next course of action. So my first assurance is confidentiality and empowerment through men. They know their masculinity is not questionable. They have the strength to share, to open up, and be safe with us.
Okay, all right. And Jima, in what ways have you seen men's mental health struggles affect families and communities? You talked about having open spaces so that we have more conversations on mental health. So how can community leaders as well be part of the solution for this?
Yeah, I think as I said earlier on, community also can play a big role. One, we need to, how do we create these safe spaces in the community? One is that we should not be able to stigmatize, people who open up. This, to me, some of these community leaders, they are the very people who sometimes shame these men. Some of those things. Sorry, I know you don't get Arabic. It's like I'm trying to give an exclamation, like somebody saying, you are a man, and why even coming here to talk like a woman, or maybe something of that sort. So you see, such kind of statements coming from community leaders, it actually demoralizes the person from opening up. And then secondly, the other issue is if somebody is already mentally bad, he loses his potential for his potential in the community, and that is already a loss, by the way, to the community. So what do we do? What I will talk about is how quickly do we integrate this person into some of the things that we do in the community. I believe a idle, they said an idle mind is a devil's workshop. So if you engage somebody who is really going bad, you start engaging in conversations. Like from where I come from, you find that tomorrow you're going to solve problems in so and so's family. You're traveling this very far, you're going to do this in so and family. You bring this person closer. Travel together with this person to go and see issues. You see, environment change inspires the persons. It changes how the person thinks. Sometimes he thinks that this is the problem he's going through is the only problem that he has. But when he goes to another community, he finds even there are more worse problems, and he can be of help even to the rest of the community. So I find that community leaders can start integrating some of these people into some of their spaces. Like maybe in a rural setup, where there is this big court and stuff, bring this person, let him come and listen to some of these issues. Let him listen, and it can give him to gauge between his own issues and even the issues that are happening, around the community. Because I believe that once a man goes mentally bad because of issues to do with marriage, you just know that we have men who have gone to the point of saying, I don't want a woman in my life. You see, he fears to get what? He fears to get married. There are those men there. So this one now, he will not produce. Then if also we say bab go full kalas naman namarajel bugul kalas o mader maratani ni haito de bab go full. You see, that door has already closed, because in our society you're supposed to get married and start producing children, so that even you can have a lineage. And the moment you get distressed because of issues to do with marriage, definitely kalas that in high. And how does the community come in? They start giving this counseling advice. This marriage did not start today. It started with this and this and this and this and this and that. So I feel like the community has a bigger role, but mostly the issue of stigma. The community leaders, they should not be able to stigmatize people who are going through such kind of issues. The other thing is, if men even come to community centers to open up, sometimes it's hard for a man to say a woman raped me.
Yeah.
You see, and sometimes it's hard even for these people to buy in. But once they come into to these community centers, I think they should be given a listening ear. Once they're given the listening ear, and they should be given the justice that they deserve, just like the way other women are deserving justice about some of these cases.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And what barriers do you believe either social, financial, or institutional currently prevent men from accessing mental health care? And I just want to go back to the question I asked before. From your work, what were some of the most pressing issues that men face? Is it marriage related? Is it financial related? What are some of the most common ones that you have received?
Most common ones are relationships. We say relationships can either break or So if you are in a toxic relationship, of course you'll develop certain types of emotions and stuff, and because you're not expressing it, it can lead to depression, stress, and other mental issues. But other relationships can build you, because we as women, we should be advocates of mental health. We should be able to empower these men to be vulnerable with us, because one of the biggest challenge with men is vulnerability. They do not want to open up.
They don't want to be vulnerable.
Yes, they don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to open up with us. They don't want to share anything with us. So they always find other means of coping with these issues. Some turn to alcoholism, others violence, others isolating themselves as a means of processing their emotions, which are mostly negative coping mechanisms. And others is financial stability, because as we said earlier on, men are expected to be the providers. Sometimes it's hard to find jobs. You find some of your colleagues have moved on with life, and you feel stagnant. So you have that pressure. You want to move on. You want to provide for the family. There's also pressure from the family that you need to provide for them. They're expecting a lot from you, and these high expectations can break someone's mind, can make someone go to depression because they feel less of a man or less of a person because of the family expectations. And in our society we live in a big family group, so you find so you find providing for all those numbers, it's a bit challenging with these high standards of living in South Sudan. And another challenge I've worked with, it's this trauma from war and accidents. Most people don't know how to process this. So you find people have been put on antidepressants, anti-anxieties, because they're not speaking out, because they don't want to seek help. So they, instead of finding a healthier coping mechanism, coming for therapy, for instance, you can talk about your issues. The more you talk about it, we call flooding. The more you talk about it, you experience it, you re-experience it until you get used to it, to a point that
coming face to face.
To a point that when the next time you talk about it, you feel more calm. You feel like now it's not something that is holding you back. It's not a barrier for you. It's a strength to push you to move forward. And another challenge we found is the drug use for most people as another coping mechanism. I've heard of this drug called ice. I don't know how it works, but yes. So
you have to hit it with a torch and it's up.
Yes.
So I'll get most male clients others are in their 30s, 35. They don't have anything else to do. They are addicts, and they will come there. They are so high they can't even speak with you. They are so dissociated, and the only thing they do is lie. They don't want to speak about their issues. They don't want to tell you what is happening. They are just lying to you about something. Even their stories, they don't coordinate. You hear, I was here this time, the next time is there. So those are majorly challenges for men because of lack of mental health awareness, lack of motivation to come and seek help, lack of this stigma, as he said, the stigma of mental health and seeking help. Yes.
Okay, on the issue of alcohol and also the drugs, are they all connected to mental health, or others are just people are just doing it, I don't know, for fun or something like that? Because sometimes you find that someone will be drinking a lot, and when you ask them, they'll say they are going through maybe something, and when they drink, they forget.
Yeah.
But so I just wanted to know, is it all connected to mental health, or others are just that person's choice, for example?
Statistically, I would say 90% is connected to mental health, because others do it to cope with other life challenges, because not everyone goes through the same mental issues. Others have depression, others, they don't know how to deal with certain things, others do not know how to handle issues properly. So the only way others believe they can think and react properly about something when they are high or drunk. They can make better decisions when they are high or drunk, which is not the case always. Yes.
Okay. Yes.
I just wanted to add something a little bit on the use of the drugs. I'm a former drug addict, and I also come from a background of addiction therapy. To me, I think addiction it's a mental health disorder, and as she has put it, people use these drugs simply to escape the truth, because the moment you become addicted, it's like you running away from the truth. You don't want to come face to face with the truth. Yeah. And that's the reason why these people get into these drugs. And as he said, 99%, one of it is the as a country we come from war, and the issues of PTSD, I think the post-conflict stress disorders are really high, especially with ex-military men, with military men, and they have children who are growing, seeing up these things. So we have a generation that are born into this, knowing that if it goes bad, I use this as a coping mechanism, not looking at the healthy ways as a coping mechanism. So you'll find that at least the use of alcohol in Juba is all related to stress. Either young people leaving their houses, when you go slowly and have this conversation with them, you find that they have a disagreement with somebody at home, and they feel like the safer zone is with the gangs outside the house. So it's all related to mental health. I really want to agree with that.
Okay. All right. I also want to know from you, Juma, from community and advocacy perspective, what are some of the key challenges your organization has encountered when it comes to promoting awareness on men's mental health related issues?
Yeah, I think one is the community's acceptance that men have issues to do with mental health.
That's very true.
And the moment you start having this conversation about men's mental health, they'll say, "Ita maindu shogol." This is first the perspective of people. And but the moment you start having, the moment you sit down and you have a dialogue with these community people, you'll find that there are issues that men are really going through in the communities. And in our work, we don't actually engage sometimes men alone, but also we engage together with the women. And because you find that some of these issues are co-related, and you find some of them are just a secondary reaction. But one of the biggest obstacle that we face right now is people's acceptance that actually men have issues and they need to be addressed. And with few organizations that are coming out, and with spaces like now what iRadio is having on the Zone 72, how I wish we could have more platforms that be able to talk about issues to do with this. Data Gordon through Men for Women organization, I think they've been engaging some of these young boys on issues to do with positive masculinity. And if we could have more of this conversation as this organization, I think the narrative will start changing. And with this, I believe acceptance is coming in slowly, but it's a hard rock to climb. Also in our work, we work with people who also facing issues to do with the drugs. We also sometimes offer counseling to them, and as most of the cases that we have in the communities, you find there are men who are escaping responsibilities. Apart from the mental health, some men are really drinking to escape responsibilities. This is somebody who is educated, have the potential to be able to do work, if not employed as a white-collar job, even doing other casual work, he can still be able to deliver and have a family.
Even others, they have jobs, but they decide.
Yes, they decide. Yes, and definitely they'll be able to find that they're living some of these spaces. So these are some of the things that in my work I've encountered, that men actually out there, there are many, and there are men who are married, they're not living in their houses, they're living underyat. Okay, the moment they see their houses, maybe when it's coming to around 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. You see, and most of the time they are spending their time just in the underyard. Nonetheless, conversations are ongoing on, and we believe that change does not come in a day. But once you start having conversation with someone, we're already poisoning their minds, and we believe with time they will be able to start realizing that these are not healthy ways of coping with issues to do with stress or issues to do with societal pressures for them as men.
Okay. All right. Yes, Aud, you want to add something on what Daniel said? And maybe I just want to know from you also, do you think or believe that men open up to their own gender, like men-to-men talk? Is it easy for them to come out and speak? And because if they go and drink together, maybe they can share their problems. So do you believe that it is easy for men to open up to their own gender than when their wives or sisters or mothers are around?
I believe they do. But another question I'll ask my brother here, Daniel, is
do you guys open up to yourselves?
To some who understand that opening up, they do. But also there is this fear of what you have opened up going around. Yes. You see, there is that fear. But to somebody that you hang around with, you chill with, definitely there are those that open up. But my worry is, what advice comes from that person? Is it a good one?
A positive one.
My question was concerning to the mental health. As a man, and we're dealing with mental health month, have you ever been vulnerable with your wife? Have you ever gone to him crying? Have you ever shared anything that is hurting you? Using you as an example.
Yeah, for sure. I thank God. I'm married. I recently wedded. I think I wedded on May. So
congratulations.
So usually, I remember there was a time I broke and I cried before in front of her. I thank God she did not, come out and start talking badly to me, but she was like, Dan, this is it. Be calm, and we will overcome. That's what she told me, and that was a moment we were in conflict, because my wife is from a different state and a different tribe, and I come from a different place. So there was this pressure of not this and that and that. Okay. So I was like, okay, and then the dowry was also high. And then you look at the beauty, you look at the family troubles, and then you look at the money. So there was that issue that I was going through, and I am open about my issues. So I opened up and I cried, and she was like, "No, we can be able to overcome this." And from a calm standpoint of view, we're able to gather our strength together, our emotions together with my wife, and we're able to approach until we have reached now. So even in my own house, if we have issues, we make sure that we sit and we talk over it. If she cries, yes, I'm there to comfort her. If I'm the one crying, I'm there to comfort her. So it's something that I'm putting into practice. It's not I'm speaking from an organization set up that I'm doing for other men. Yeah. It's something I do at home.
How did that make you feel?
Well, I have solved issues. I'm okay.
But now, like at that moment when you are vulnerable with her, how did that make you feel?
Well, this is another counseling session. Yeah, I think I feel empty. Yeah, I feel I feel of less weight.
Okay.
Yeah, because if I was to keep it, I'll be talking alone in the car, I'll be talking alone at work, I'll be talking somewhere, I start solving issues and talking to myself. But when I release it, it's gone.
Yeah. It's a cycle. As an example, you can see men who are even working, they get stress from their bosses who have their own stress. They come take it out on the wives. The wife come take it out on the children. The children.
Yeah, because it becomes a whole circle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that was an interesting session. Okay, our time is 37 minutes past the hour of 4. Yes, listen of iRadio. If you have questions to our guest in the studio on mental health, call us on 0911 or 0922986986, and then you can direct your questions to our guest. And those who are watching us on our Facebook live stream, you can I can see your comments and questions coming in. I'll be reading them later, so that Awut and Juma can answer them also for you. Remember 0911 or 0922986986. You can call these two numbers and you'll be connected with us live here in the studio. Yes, Juma, early on you talked about your organization dealing with issues to do with drugs. So what are some of the biggest gaps that you think needs to be addressed in terms of access to mental health awareness or things surrounding mental health, not only for men but also for everyone? So what are some of the gaps that you see that you believe that it needs to be addressed or fulfilled?
Yeah, I think you see, it's so beautiful that sometimes let me use Juba's scenario. Like sometimes the city mayors comes in and they give bans on alcohol and all this. But I've been in opposition of this in a way that you cannot bring a ban without education, because I believe that if you are educated about something, then it gives you two choices, either the health one or the unhealthy one. I want to talk about issues of drug education in this country. Why do we need to have drug education? It's a gap that we have in this country, just like the way we have issues to do with sexuality education. I feel we need to have drug education here in South Sudan, because the moment we reach with the right information about drugs, about the dangers of drugs to young people, we can be able to poison their mind earlier than these products poison their mind. Because as a drug dealer, I'll tell you, if you get this, you get high. If you take this, it will make you feel good. Hey, it's coming to rain, this is the moment for you to go and smoke weed. You get the point. This is the moment to get tramadol. This is the moment to get all these kind of things. You get the point. So, but if young people are given drug education right from the primary level, you see, and with proper career guidance, and these young people will be able to have a purpose and a sense of direction in their life. And this is something that we missed, and I really want to see that the generations that in front of us, they really don't miss this. Because when I was growing up in Uganda, when I was in school, we used to have a good radio magazine, a radio talk magazine, where you find that young people come out and speak about some of their issues, and even they take the radio to the schools. You see, young people start expressing some of these issues, and this can be able to help them change their thinking about issues to do with drugs. You go around Juba, most of the people who are into drugs are these young people. let's talk about what happened in Shirkat. Were these people from their right senses of mind, or they were actually under the influence of drugs? You see, and these are young people, you see. And if we can have drug education and coupled with parental guidance, proper parental guidance, you find that we can be able to address this of drug. I'm trying to see this not from that I want to neglect the adult men, but it's hard to change somebody who is already big. But with the young people, their mind is it's at a development stage, and with a lot of curiosity, it's easy to tame them into something that is very positive. And I feel like as a country, we have a chance to address the issue of the drugs if we put drug education at the forefront. Even if we have now policies, we have city council are coming to have these bans. When somebody is aware, if I take this drug, it's going to do for me A, it's going to do for me B, it's going to affect me in C. So that will be good, because you ban it today, tomorrow it's flooding back into the market, because people are ignorant of the dangers of some of this drug, and this is a very big gap that the country is lacking.
Okay, yes. Let's also hear from Awood. Do you think healthcare facilities are equipped to address men's mental health or mental health in general, and what are the biggest gaps that you think needs to be addressed?
When it comes to mental health facilities, there are not many in our country. And not many people are aware of mental health. And creating this awareness is important. So the gap is the lack of awareness and mental health facilities. Even for rehabilitation centers, we don't have many. I've seen the one in Juba teaching, and it needs a lot of work. Yeah, it's not big enough, and there are so many
I think it
patients.
has 13 beds or 12 beds.
Yes. And it's like they're just in blocks. Others, they sleep on the corridors because there is no enough space for everyone there to be admitted. So you find that people who are being brought in because of addiction, they're being taken to prison. And there they are forced to take medication. So the lack of these facilities is important, and the country needs to do something about it. Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. Let's go through some of the comments and a few questions on our Facebook live stream. We have Chol Makwat. He says, I am watching you live from Kigali. And then we have Gadid Bishogbol. He says, I'm watching from Uganda. And okay, let's pick this call and then we go back to our comments on Facebook. iRadio.
Yep, salam.
Marhab.
Salam. برنامج بتاعكم ده برنامج بتاعكم كله كويس.
قول لنا اسمك وانت ضارب من وين؟
أنا دارس في كورنويس.
اوكي، اسمك منو؟
سنغالي.
اوكي، اتفضل.
كلام انت قاعد كلهم فوق ده كويس. يعني ما فوق هاي بطال لما نقول يتكلموا عجل يتكلموا كده وفيزو ده دي هاي بكون كويس ما كل هاي بطال فوق لأن كل العمل في الميديا ده برنامج. وبرنامج ما بطل انا بتكلم معكم ده يا وزاره بكون تلفزيون بجد لو قاعد اتكلم فوق بكون انه منتل في ممكن اجاد ديل يوم ما فوق يجي لده تبي انسان يعني انسان كلام ما في انسان بتصدق يعني في قاعد اقول يعني يقول انسان لو بد اداء زاده كل شيء في اول ان شاء الله ان عشان البلد ده يكون كويس يا كلام ذاته تو يعمل كسر كلام بقول لهم انت اثنين وما ادراك ده ما الزوج ما كده ما درس زوج ما درس حاجه غير انسان يعني انسان غير غير ما نقدر الا لو ربنا يمكن بيجي بينكسر معلومه ده انسان بكلام ما تو بنفيت في كلامه ذاته يعني كلامه بالجراح وما بيقول ان الكلام بتاع ذاته يتقال كله
اوكي اوكي، شكرا كثير يوحانس من يكرون لاتصال بتاعك. And on our comments on Facebook we have Rita Matthias. She says, not only men, even me, I get up every day and keep going as if everything is fine, but indeed I need to attend that mental health awareness. Okay, thank you so much for that. We have Richard and he says it's true, mental health problem is killing many young people in South Sudan due to so many factors that contribute to mental disorder, including post-trauma stress, alcoholism, depression, and others. And I'm appealing to the government to support this program. Thank you so much. And someone called JB, he says, how can our parents create a safe environment for us when the country itself is not safe? That's from him there. Let's hear from another caller. iRadio. Okay, sorry, you can still call us back in the same numbers, that is 0911 or 0922-986-986. And we have another comment from Ricky Deem. He says, determinants of health are environmental, socially, demographic, and political will. So men are affected by all these factors that is here in South Sudan. And that is his comment. Thank you. And we have someone called David O'Neill. He says men are the ones to share their wealth with their wives. And they're the ones to pay the dowry. They're the ones to pay for the expenses of the family, the school fees, and the house rent. Yes, and to build house for the family. Okay, I think he said, what do you expect men to do? Okay, I think he's relating all these issues he mentioned to some of the things affecting, I think, men mental health. Okay, all right. Thank you all for your comments. Let's pick this last call before we conclude with our program. iRadio. Hello, iRadio. Okay, we are not getting your voice. Sorry, but you can still try to call us back on the same numbers. Yes, I just want you to share with us what are some of the everyday exercise that you would recommend to men who may be struggling silently with mental health issues.
What I would like to recommend, first of all, if it's possible, like from the deepest part of my heart, seek help from a mental health facility. You can get like your own private session. You don't have to come in a group, or you'll find people in a group. Second of all, there are many ways people can handle these challenges. Some people can do breathing exercises as a means to calm down when they feel so much pressure and anxiety. There are certain breathing exercises people can do. We call it 3x3. You breathe in through your nose, and then you hold it for like 3 times. You count to 3. You exhale. You count to 3. Yeah, can I demonstrate?
Yeah.
Okay.
For those who are watching on Facebook and also those listening on the radio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you all be seated properly?
Okay.
And then you do as I say. Okay, breathe in. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. When you exhale, I expect you breathe through your mouth, like deeply. Can we repeat it?
Okay.
Breathe in. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. You do it until you feel like you are a bit calm. Yes. Or as many times as possible. You can do it alone. No one will know while you're doing it. It helps you relax. And for those who also don't like to open up about things, you can journal. You get your nice notebook, you write down your issues. Or you can find like a good friend you confide in. The ones you know is to die for, a friend who can also help you, listen to you, and share you, and at least give you a good advice on what to do and certain things. Yes.
Okay. Yes, Daniel, you want to add something, or you want to share anything that you did in the past that helped you?
I think she just shared. Also, I want to share some tools. I'm associated with the Center for Mind and Body Medicine. as well, and there are some tools she did mention. I think also sometimes you can do a guided imagery that's blended with the breathing in, and yoga also helps, and music also helps. You can have a fast music that can be able to help you dance quickly and you sweat, and then you can have a soft reggae music. And usually when I'm doing those interpersonal group therapies, I play those songs. Then there is this song from Lucky Dube, every little thing is gonna be all right, and then you start jamming, after that sweating. It also helps you relaxing. So I think there are many tools out there that you can be able to employ, and also have some exercise. This like
Running,
jogging, running, and go to
The gym.
aerobics is called where people dance. Whoa. Get to those distractors. I think they'll be helpful.
Okay, you wanted to say something?
You already said
You already said, okay. All right. So I'm going to give each one of you a chance to share their last message to the listener, to men or women out there about mental health. Yes. Let's
Ladies first.
Ladies first. Yes.
Mental health is not a woman's issues. It's not a man's issues. It's human issues. But when we recognize how our culture shapes our silence, we can take a step closer to healthier, more compassionate human beings. So let's encourage our brothers, fathers, sons to speak. Let's remind them that strength lies not in silence, but in healing. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yes.
I want to conclude by giving just a small just answer to what somebody asked through the comments. The role that family can be able to play. I think family therapy plays a key role in terms of helping, and this comes to creating that safer environment. In homes, there are people really you cannot get encouraged to talk to about your issues. Because they have certain characters, and others, even without them asking you, you feel pulled to them so that you can be able to open up. So I just want to say that in families, let's be a brother's keeper and a sister's keeper, and let's have that empathy and have an understanding of what the person is going through, and create that environment so that the person can open up and talk to without even being asked, and they can be able to open up. My final message out there is that men, let's not shy. If it means cry, it really helps. Cry out loud, it really helps. And there are available spaces where you can be able to get this help, like where my sister works, and I think these are available spaces. And also through Action We Foundation, we have been stepping into these spaces. We have a platform called Transformation Zone that we use to be able to have conversations with these men, and also offer there is outpatient addiction therapy and counseling, and all other services that are related to mental health. We are not we don't bring you to our facility, but we go to where you are, and we make sure that we handle from where you are, and we believe with time we can be able to grow. So these spaces are out there. Ask for the help, and they are willing to help you completely. If there is nobody, please, the immediate family member you feel you can talk to, please talk to this person, and we'll be able to avoid suicides in our families when we open up.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Juma Daniel, Executive Director of Action We Foundation, and also Aoud Mabior, Deng Counseling Psychologist at Juba Teaching Hospital. That was a very, very interesting discussion, and we look forward to having more of such discussions, either on the radio or outside. And to you, the listener of iRadio, thank you so much. For those who tried to call in, but the network was not helping, and also those who shared their comments and questions on our Facebook live stream. We meet again next Saturday on another discussion right here on the Zone 72. Have a nice evening.
For information and entertainment, stay